Hello, family. I'm doing a second one this week. I There's no rules. I can do what I want. I'm pretty tired because it's the morning. I'm in a car now. Also, I figured that was fitting since mom and mom and dad were both in cars. I'm not driving. I'm about to head to work. I wanted to do this one quickly to respond to John and Mom's videos. So I've got three topics related to those. First one's AI. I'll keep it brief because that's what I talked about last time. The whole I don't know much about like the multimodal models, so I'm not going to talk to that. I guess, John, what you were saying about being concerned about AGI and then like thinking about like the niche areas where they might be developing AI to do specific things. I have a fear of AGI because I think it's inevitable as the technology progresses, and I don't think that's a good thing. But I have more of a short-term, more recent fear. I think that maybe it's not a fear. This may turn out fine, but like AI will be trained to do niche specific tasks. That's what it's good at already, and people are realizing that, and it's going to become more prevalent in the workforce. And my worry, or my the thing that I'm curious about, is how that will change the professional atmosphere, and if we will adapt to it in a good way, or if we will adapt to it in a bad way because those who are in charge of it are doing it to make a profit, not to improve the overall societal situation. All right, so that's my bit on AI. In terms of Mom's thing, which I liked your Mom, good video. I know you're not a huge fan of recording the video, but you did a good job. Good first video. And I liked your topics, and I wanted to address kind of the two of them. The first one being being critical over the course of one's life. And I think you're right. I think there are people with the trait to look into themselves and people who don't. And I think it's partially just being conscious of one's actions and behaviors and things like that, the ability to be conscientious of themselves and the world around them, and some people don't do that. I think there's a lot of people who just kind of are blissfully ignorant and run through life doing just whatever at the moment. And I would guess that that's a happier existence, sort of like an ignorance is bliss situation. But for the people that do have that trait to want to, I guess, to look at themselves, right, and really think about themselves, I think that there's a difference between introspection and being self-critical. I'd say that they a lot of times come hand in hand, right? But I guess my thinking on kind of your worry, or your point about can you ever be satisfied, is sort of like everything in moderation, right? And that's not an easy thing to do, and there's a little bit of irony here, where to realize when you're being self-critical rather than being introspective, or at least going too far, sort of, you have to be very cognitive and introspective about yourself. So I'd say that I'd say recently, but kind of over the course of my life, which has not been, it's less than years and dads, but I'd say that I've had a similar struggle of will I ever, what is enough, right? What am I actually striving for? You know, like I have goals and I think things that I want to do and things I want to change, but what is like the end goal here, right? And also, like, can I be okay with some parts of me? And I'd say that the answer to that is like at least the answer that I've found to that so far. The end goal, I'm not sure yet, but the self-critical introspection, I think there are parts of us that we can identify and want to work on and become better in, but they don't have to be critical, you know? Like, so long as the thing you're working towards is something that you think will improve your quality of life and the quality of life of those around you and those kinds of things, and you're not like beating yourself up about it, you know, you're not being like critical, like overly critical to yourself, then those things are good, I'd say. Like, I think that my and grandpa do spend a lot of time, you know, trying to improve themselves and their community, but it comes from a place of good. And so I'd say the answer to that whole idea is I don't know if anyone ever in existence, maybe there are some, I don't know, but I don't think very many people find true satisfaction, which is kind of sad to think about, but it's also just the human condition. You know, true satisfaction is equivalent or very similar to perfection, and perfection does not exist in my opinion. So I'm sure that, you know, most people will always strive to find something better than what they have, but I think in terms of like personal self-improvement, I think what's important is that we do it in a healthy and moderated way. And there are qualities that you could improve, but maybe you don't need to, you know? Like, if you're happy with who you are in a certain aspect of life, or if you're just okay with sort of ceding that portion of yourself and just saying, it's okay for me to not be perfect, you know, that is very acceptable. There are a lot of people who will criticize every single detail about themselves, and it's not healthy for them, and ultimately it's not healthy for the people around them. But I think it's good to look at yourself and want to improve, but you have to do it in a way that is healthy for yourself, you know, something that doesn't make you feel terrible about yourself all the time. More something that is in the goal of being happier and not from like a place of criticism. So hopefully that got that point across. You also asked if we were, you know, nostalgic or missed Tulsa. I'd say that the way I think about it nowadays, I do miss Tulsa, and I think I talk about it a lot more fondly nowadays than I used to think about it, which is just that is always going to be the case. Like, you know, nostalgia that's what nostalgia is fondly remembering the past. But I think I'm happy that you and Dad are exploring and trying to do things that make you happy and not just staying put or stuck in one place because of us, because of, you know, me and Doug and John. I think the biggest part that I miss is being able to like see my friends, like, you know, being able to go home and spend some time with family, but also then like being able to go out that night and go see friends. But that being said, most of my friends aren't in Tulsa anymore, you know, and a lot, you know, over time I've grown apart from some friends. And I'd say, like, you know, Kyler is no longer in Tulsa. Philip kind of is. He's, you know, he's in like the Jenks area. Tori is around there, but she's about to not be. And that's really it. That's really all the people who are still in Tulsa for me. I don't know about Doug and John, but I guess that's kind of my take on it, is like I more care about the people that I know from there than I do like the actual place. You know, I have fond memories of the place, but I don't I don't like need to be there or live there or anything like that. I more miss the people who I knew from there. And a lot of them aren't there anymore. And I miss being able to see them all, but that wouldn't, really be solved by having a home base in Tulsa. It's more of a trying to find a way to get that group of friends together somehow. So, yeah, I think that covers it. I really wanted to like cover those kind of 3 topics. So, that's all from me. I'm gonna go to work, and I guess you'll see another video from me starting next week.